Hey guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Danmachi x Tensura fanfic by Crimson9943 Chapter 3. Rimuru Pav. As we were walking towards the tower, I was learning a lot of things about this world from Bell. He told me he was taking me to see the dungeon that this city is famous for, which I was extra excited for because I want to see how it differs from the labyrinth back in my world. So has this dungeon been here for a long time? Bell put a hand to his chin as if in deep thought. Well, I don't know when it first came to be, but it was here before the Divine Era. The Divine Era. The Divine Era began when gods decided to come down to Earth and live here with us. Before the Divine Era was the Ancient Era. I heard that in the Ancient Era monsters terrorized the surface, destroying cities and killing millions. Bell explained. He looked at me oddly. Say, Tempest-san. I thought you said you were a traveler? Rimuru is fine, and yes, I am a traveler. For a traveler. You don't know many things about this world, Rimuru-san. The sudden question made me halt in my tracks. This is the second mistake today. First no money and now this? What makes you think that? I asked this, trying to brush off the question, but it seems Bell noticed my discomfort and looked as if he became uncomfortable himself. Honestly, this guy is too nice for his own good. Sorry if I insulted you. I really didn't mean like that. It's just that Orario is famous all around the world for its dungeon, and you spoke like you didn't know anything about the eras and stuff that we live in. And as a traveler, isn't it necessary to know these things? Bell sounded like he was trying to sound as apologetic as he can. But what he was saying has made sense. What kind of a traveler won't know about the most famous city in the world? No, I am not in the least offended. You see, where I come from, Orario is not that well known. We never learn about it because we are pretty much closed off from the rest of the world. Which is actually the reason for my traveling. I intend to learn about this world and use that knowledge to help my people. With this, he should believe me. It's not exactly the truth, but it's not exactly a lie either. We aren't from this world, and if I could get any useful knowledge here, I will definitely use it for the well-being of Tempest. It's all for his own good. It would be troublesome if he found out our true identity. To my relief, he didn't ask any more questions, and we walked on in peaceful silence, observing shops and stalls as we pass. There were many interesting things I wanted to check out, but right now I'm excited to see the dungeon of Orario. Rimuru-san. Would you mind if we stopped somewhere? I have some errands to run. No, I don't mind at all. I'm the one who imposed on you after all. Hearing this, Bell let out a sigh of relief. This guy must really care about what other people think. Looks like I can't go too hard on him with my jokes. Making a mental note of this, we arrive in front of what seemed to be a restaurant. There were people entering and leaving, so it might be quite popular. When we reached at the entrance, I looked at the sign above the door saying, Hostess of Fertility, or at least that's what is written according to Seal, and there is a low chance that Seal could be wrong. Correction. There is no chance that I am wrong. Yeah, if you say so. It's okay to be proud, Seal. I was waiting with Bell outside the pub, who appeared to be waiting for someone else. After a while of waiting, we get to see this someone else. She was clearly older than Bell and had light gray-colored hair with matching gray eyes. She was wearing a white apron above a green maid-looking dress. She must be a waiter for this restaurant or something. Era. I thought you would have already gone home for today, Bell-san. She greeted Bell, then turned her eyes on me. And who is this, Bell-san? The look in her eyes give me an impression that she's not all that meets the eye, but since this is not my world, I think it would be better to not pry. Rimuru-san here is a traveler. I've been showing him around. Bell introduced me, so I should probably introduce myself to avoid being rude to her. Pleasure to meet you. I am Rimuru Tempest. And I am Seer Flovia of the Fertility. She said with a huge smile, just like Shuna's subordinates back home. There seem to be a lot of interesting people coming here today. Interesting people. I wonder who falls interesting people like me. I can only hope it's not who I think it is. Hey Seer. He won again. NYA, a Catwoman with same outfit called out from the tavern. I'm already starting to get a bad feeling about this. Oh. It's his 48th win. Sorry, Bell-san. She quickly apologized and sprinted back inside after handing over a lunchbox. Oh. See you later. Well, I suppose we should get going. Hey Bell. What is it, Rimuru-san? Would you mind if we go see who she is talking about? Oh, Sure. But didn't you want to go see the dungeon? I do, but I have a feeling I may know who she was talking about. He looked confused but agreed with a nod, and both of us entered the tavern. What you could immediately see was a crowd gathered in the middle around a table. The crowd was cheering at two people who sitting at the table who looked like they were in a fierce arm wrestling match. One of them looked like an adventurer, I think, and the other was, as I expected, Veldora. He sat there with a cool and confident face. The people around them were cheering like mad and calling out wagers. Maybe thinking it's enough, Veldora slammed his opponent's hand on the table, taking a clean victory. A chorus of cheers and groans erupted. What the heck is this guy doing? What happened to not drawing any unnecessary attention? Did he even think about what might happen if his level of strength is not common here? Hey, who is that guy? I've never seen him before. I don't know, but I heard he won 49 times, he even took out a Berbera. I could only groan on the inside. From the way these guys are acting, a Berbera is pretty strong. Seriously, one of Ishtar familia, he is definitely strong, we should ask him to join us. Whispers like this spread like wildfire through the crowd. I looked at my idiot friend who was still drunk on his victory. This guy, I mutter through a sigh. Seal, I thought I gave you the job to watch over him. I have instructed Veldora to obtain money through challenges, but there was a calculation error. I didn't thought the tavern owner would pull this kind of trick. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? A businessman would never let a chance to do business go. That's how humans work, Seal. I apologize for my inability to understand humans' emotions yet. Don't worry about that. It's okay to make how we deal with the mistakes as which matter. This is not your first time, is it? She sounded disappointed, but now she'll be able to learn from this. This situation may help me get to enough data to create a measurement scale to calculate the existence value of individuals. Ooh, that will be useful. It's a skill I copied from Ramirez Labyrinth Creations. Ramirez was pissed when she found that I also can use it. It allows me to know how powerful my opponent is. However, it may be not accurate because we cannot calculate their skills and talents through numerical means. Even still, it's better than nothing. Okay, I'm counting on you. Understood. Finishing my conversation with Seal, I turned my attention back to the table in the center. Another person had sat opposite to Veldora. This guy is obviously an adventurer. Veldora gazed at his new opponent, looking very full of himself. So, you're next, huh? That's right, my name is Mord. And I am a level 2. The guy named Mord sneered at him as he pushed a small pouch that jingled onto the table. This here is 500 Valis. Kuahahaha. Then come at me with everything you've got, challenger. I will take you head on. Veldora smirked. Getting permission from both of them, the catgirl waitress who was standing there as referee started to hype up the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, NYA. Place your bets, NYA. On the left we have Mord from the Ogma Familia. And the other side we have the newcomer Veldora, who has so far remained undefeated, NYA. Challengers, get ready, she announced. I couldn't help but sigh as I watched Veldora and the guy called Mord clasp hands in preparation. What is that idiot doing? He even gave his real name. And the owner of this tavern really knows how to make money. They must be making a killing by using Veldora. Belle looked over at me. Say, Rimuru-san, do you know him? Unfortunately, yes, he is one of my companions. The match started, and you could tell with just one look for it to be obvious that Veldora is holding back. The other guy is not able to move him an inch despite how hard you could see him trying. Belle was watching it with interest when he suddenly looked at me. Rimuru-san. Your friend is very strong. A level 2 is having a hard time against him. Is that so? Well, don't tell him that. I sat at an empty table and motioned him to sit next to me. While he reluctantly did so, both of us were closely watching the almost boring one-sided match in the history of arm wrestling I'd seen up to this day. Veldora has an ego tall as sky, so if you tell him that, he will start rubbing it in everyone's face, especially me. But you don't dislike it, do you? Belle chuckled at me. I removed my mask, return a smile back. No, I don't. I watched as Belle's face starting to turn. After we are getting along pretty nice, he is still blushing. He is like a kid. I put my mask on again to avoid attention and turned my attention back to Veldora. It was then that I noticed that I was getting stares from both male and female nearby who must have seen my face. I usually get this back in Tempest when I visit the council or some human country. That's why I think I am used to this. But it still hurt my pride as a man when I am thought of as a petite girl. I am a 47-year-old dude, for God's sake. It's not my fault that Seal won't let me take a more male-looking form. Correction. I am Master's skill. It is true that I have evolved, but as skill what I do is equal to what Master does, therefore this is Master's fault. Then I would like to turn into a dude. Denied. I was harshly rejected. To take my mind off it, I quickly analyzed the strength of the adventure mord. Even if he is no match for Veldora, he seems pretty good for a human. I turned to Belle, who was still slightly red. Hey Belle, what level are you? I am a level 1, a flustered Belle replied. Ho. Then do you know who the highest level in the world is? The King Otter of the Freya Familia is highest level 1, believe. But this time the answer came from Seer, who was standing behind Belle. Rimuru-san, you should not cover a beautiful face like that. It's a waste, she said with a smile, putting 2 drinks in front of us. I eyed the drinks. We didn't order anything, and Elle can tell just by looking that this is quality wine. It may be expensive. Seer waved her hand as if dismissing my comment. Yes, it is expensive, but you don't have to worry. This is Belle-san's treat. The cute smile on her face never wavered as she spoke. Belle appeared to be taken back by the Sir's words. What are you trying to pull on me, Seer-san? He sighed. You're always doing things like this. Thank goodness Rimuru-san is not the type to drink on another person's money. Belle turned to me as he said this, and then his eyes turned to my empty glass, to which his face starts twitching. Rimuru-san. Where is the wine? I drank it. When? The moment she said that it's your treat. Belle looked completely defeated and was emitting a gloomy aura with tears rolling down his face. I am sorry, goddess. I have fallen into a trap. So we were talking about this King Otter guy, right? So he's some sort of royalty? I was starting to feel uncomfortable on doing this to Belle, but say which guy miss a chance to get a drink for free, so I changed the subject. Seer chuckled. No, King is his alias. Every adventurer will get one when he or she reaches level 2, currently King is a level 7. Level 7, huh, that's pretty high if you ask me. If I could analyze him I would be able to get a solid grasp on this power level system. I look over to the arm wrestling match that's still been going on in the background. Only to see Veldora yawning and the Mord guy covered in sweat and still struggling to move his hand. How has this guy not given up yet? I think I'll put an end to Veldora's fun for now. Hey, Seer-san. How can I help, Rimuru-san? Can you organize it so I go next? Seer caught on quickly to what I was talking about and nodded. I watch her jog over to the cat waitress and whisper in her ear, pointing at me. The cat waitress had a bit of a dubious look on her face when she looked at me and then Veldora. In the end she appeared to just shrug and nod her head. The next moment you could hear the crowd cheer and groan again. Looks like Veldora had enough. I make my way over to the table where Veldora was celebrating his victory and sat across from him. He still hasn't even noticed it's me with all his celebrating. Honestly, this guy's hopeless. Now for the next contender, NYA, Rimuru Tempest. Veldora instantly froze in his celebrating and slowly turned around to face me. Oh, hey Rimuru. What are you doing, you oaf? I said as I removed my mask and set it on the table next to me. I could hear gasps throughout the crowd, but I'll just ignore them for now. Veldora looked taken aback. Don't be stingy now, Rimuru. This is 50 win streak you are ruining here, and you are the one who told me to hold back, aren't you? So this not my fault. Ho, is that so? NNGH. Veldora visibly flinched. Well, it may be partly my fault. Let's just get this over with. Seeing me hold out my hand, Veldora smirked. Kuahaha. So, you decided to challenge me, Rimuru. But I will not hold back on you. This idiot still doesn't understand what kind of situation he is in, huh? Well, Veldora is not one to use head, so this is nothing new. Ladies and gentlemen, NYA. The match will know. Before that, I cut her short. Can I get you to clarify the rules? The cat girl looked a little annoyed at me for interrupting her. The rules are basics. First one to slam their opponent's hand on the table wins. That's all NYA. Then let's start, Veldora. I feel a shark grin spread across my face as we both clasped our hands together. Just before the cat lady called the match to start, I say, Veldora, I need to apologize to you. This is going to be a really dirty fight. Veldora put on a puzzled expression. Why is that, Rimuru? Velzard-san told me that she will be visiting you. It took a few seconds for what I just said to click. When he started to sweat profusely. What did you say? Please tell me you stopped her. Nope. As a matter of fact, I actually told her our current position, She's probably on her way right now. I could see his eyes start to twitch and just then begin. While Veldora is still swallowing the idea of his terrifying elder sister coming to visit, I slam his hand onto the table, cracking it. Oops, I might have gone a bit overboard. Meanwhile, the tavern had gone deathly quiet. The calm before the storm, huh? The crowd then erupted in a chorus of groans and complaints instead of the usual groans and cheering. How is that fair? That's cheating. She was playing dirty. No ways a little girl would win against a guy like that. I'll challenge you next, lil miss. I'll show you can't cheat against me. That's cheating. This is not acceptable. Probably another guy that made a bet on Veldora. That's right. Play fair. We have money on the line. Why does it matter? She won, didn't she? Yeah, she is powerful as she is beautiful. If you want to take on her, you have to pass through me. I sighed. Well, this is only to be expected, I can say with my eyes closed. These guys think I am girls. Seriously, what's wrong with the world? I released a little bit of Demon Lord hockey, which made the room fall silent. The rules say nothing about using taunts. Therefore I have played by rules. If you all think that strength is the only deciding factor, then you are all wrong. Start using a brain, for God's sake. No one opposed me under the influence of Demon Lord hockey. That's good. And one more thing. I am a guy. Then I left the table with a dazed Veldora, leaving onlookers with looks of disbelief on their faces. After a few minutes, Belle's Pav Rimuru-san had come back from the arm wrestling table with the one named Veldora in tow. I made a promise that I won't get in his bad side. Seriously, a moment ago he was so scary. I still can't believe that you lied to me, Veldora complained. We were now eating food with the prize money won by Veldora-san. I don't think he had much of a choice. Rimuru-san kind of just took it off him while saying he can't be trusted with money and paid for the wine earlier. Seer and I sat on the opposite side from them, observing while Rimuru scolded Veldora. Is something wrong, Belle-san? I then realized I've been staring at Rimuru this whole time and got flustered. Oh. No, nothing's wrong. I was just surprised to find you were a guy this whole time, Rimuru-san. He gave me a tired smile. Don't worry. I also received these kinds of comments back home, so I'm used to it. Seer smiled. I'm not sure if you are aware, Rimuru-san, but you have broken the hearts of many men who had fallen in love at first sight with you. Rimuru chuckled. Well, we can't do anything about that now, can we? Also, I apologize that I and my friend made for you. Rimuru bowed his head as he said this. Seer shook her head. It's not a problem. After all, it was me who dragged both of you into this event anyway. And Rimuru smiled at Seer's reply, and we all went back to talking about this world, while Veldora-san had brought a book of some sort from somewhere and was reading it. Are those pictures? Rimuru had shot him an annoyed look when he took it out, but he just sighed and continued chatting with us. All of a sudden Rimuru's expression froze in the middle of the conversation, and he frowned. Please excuse me, I'll be right back. I watched as Rimuru-san put his mask on and left outside for something. I then turned my eyes to Veldora-san, who was still reading that strange book. So Veldora-san and Rimuru-san are brothers, Seer said. Come to think of it, they do share the same last name. They sure don't look alike though. Veldora-san looked up from the book he was engrossed in. Oh, yes, we are both sworn brothers. I could see he was proud saying that. A question suddenly entered in my mind which has been bugging me for a while. What kind of person is Rimuru-san? He seems quite strange and interesting, and I want to know more about him. Veldora scratched his head. Well, I'm not sure how to say this, but he is a reckless guy. Seer looked confused. Reckless? Why do you say that? Veldora-san put his book down on the seat next to him with great care. It must be a special book. Yes, he is the most reckless guy I've ever met. He's always wanting to do things that one would not consider normal. Even listening to what he wants to do will make us think he's insane or something. I smiled warily at how Veldora-san described Rimuru. It made me think that he's still mad about the earlier incident. But then Veldora grinned at me. But you know what? He'll do it. Huh. Rimuru has done everything he said he'll do. Even if it is considered impossible or madness, he will do it, and the most frustrating thing is that he doesn't know that it is something others considered as impossible. Seer chuckled. Reckless indeed. But you are proud of him, aren't you? I felt a change from him. The way he talked or the way he carried himself changed. It's like he was not the same person as before, and the atmosphere around him changed for a time. I felt like I am sitting in front of someone important. From the birth I was considered one of the strongest. So I didn't actually care for other people. I never picked on weak, but I didn't care for them or their feelings either. I destroyed many things that other people consider important just because I could and had the power. I made so many people cry. Naturally, one who I thought of as a weakling took me on and defeated me, sealing me away. Due to my power no one dared to come near me, and after 300 years passed I was just about to accept my fate of loneliness. 300 years. Sealed away. Both Seer and I asked this at once. Veldora froze and started sweating. What I mean is that it felt like 300 years and yeah. That's it. I just prefer to say sealed instead of prison because it's cooler. Kuahahaha. Oh, I see now, that makes sense. Ho, Seer didn't look convinced, but I think he's probably telling some of the truth. There's no way someone can live over 300 years unless they were a god.
Ahem. Anyway, then Rimuru came into my life. He told me that he wanted to be my friend, which I accepted out of my loneliness. I ended up lending some of my strength to him and decided to observe his actions. With my strength he could have harmed others, but he didn't. Instead he used it to protect others. Instead of destroying everything like I did, he created new things. Instead of fighting others he only used it as a last resort and always tried to make new friends and companions. And together with them he grew stronger and stronger. Of course, there were many difficult things he had to face, but unlike me he had friends to help in him when he was in trouble. Which made me rethink my ways and reflect on my previous actions. He is someone who changed who I am and the life of several countless people. So of course I am proud of my sworn brother. When the story ended I felt disappointed. I didn't know what to say. The story was worded strangely, but it was just like a fairy tale, but the difference is that the character in the story is real. Maybe this is how fairy tales are born. People share their real life experiences, then they share to others, then those people share and it just spreads wildfire. I noticed that Sir was in deep thought after listening to the story, but she looked like she enjoyed it very much. It was a nice story. Wasn't it, Belle-san? Turning to me. I stuttered. I couldn't put into words very well. Well. After hearing this, I think I understand a little bit more about Rimuru-san. I think. Honestly, I came to Orario to become like that. To protect people, have companions and share adventures with them, but after listening to you I don't think I can do it. After seeing more and more people with talents that I can only dream of having, discourages me a little. Maybe it's because of listening to the story that I ended up telling them what was on my mind, but I could see Sir glancing at me out of the corner of my eye in worry. Veldora-san reached over the table and put his hand on my shoulder. You are the first one I've shared this story to, Belle. I don't know why, but I can tell you are something special, just like when I first met Rimuru. Really? I felt a little bit of happiness when he said that. Kuahahaha. Rimuru. I was just telling them just how you nearly cried when you asked if we could be friends. Veldora-san greeted Rimuru, who had just arrived back from his errand. The dignity and the presence he had until now changed into the earlier childish version. I think mature Veldora is much cooler than the childish one. Rimuru-san put his hand on Veldora-san's shoulder. We don't have time for that. We've got problems. Problems. What kind of problems? I wondered. I never knew that said problems will be putting my life online.